Incredible. So, and you start?
Yeah,
Welcome to the 6th episode of Karak Chat podcast. And you're still not sponsored by these guys, so please let them all the comments you can. And we are joined by Zainab.
yes. And Zainab, how are you feeling today?
Amazing.
Amazing. And how are you feeling in general?
Amazing as well.
Amazing.
I don't have to be too honest, right?
You can. You can if you want.
Fine, I'm cool, all well.
All well. And what's behind this amazing feeling? Job,
Just
life in just
general.
yeah.
Like, it's calm, everything's going well.
Right.
It gets stressful, but you know you're gonna get out of it.
How does it get stressful? Is it because of job or is it?
It's everything, isn't life stressful? Yes, it's like, there's so much things to do. Job, I'm also studying for time as well.
You're studying?
Yeah, I'm doing a master's, so that
Right.
takes a lot of time as well.
Right.
And just managing everything, especially when you have deadlines approaching,
Right.
it's get a lot.
Right.
But it's manageable. You get through it.
Okay.
At the end, it's gonna be worth it. So let's get nothing clean.
So before we get into your master's thing, I was going through your profile on LinkedIn. I was like, okay, you studied in IBA,
Yeah.
and then you did your internships with good companies in Pakistan, and then you come here. What was your first impression of?
But before that, can you give me a clarity on what MBA is?
Would you like to?
Please do.
It's one of the top universities in Karachi in Pakistan.
Okay.
And Zainab was really involved with all the extracurricular activities.
How do you know that? You were part of IBA as well?
No, I do my research.
Oh, okay.
Really, with the profile. I mean, how do you?
All right. Okay. So it's like an engineering.
No, it's business school, computer science, whatever. No, everything there.
Okay. And it's like top.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's actually more of top in terms of business school.
Yeah.
But they now have like journalism or social, I think disciplines as well.
Yeah.
But they launched computer sciences like 15, 20 years ago, I guess. And now what it has evolved to be is computer sciences, but you also get a lot of business sense. And I think that is what will really help you. Because other universities would just teach you hardcore coding or hardcore development. Here, what I got to learn was development. Also, how do you sell that development? Because selling is a real game.
And do you have like these entrance exams? Like because in India, like we do have like these entrance exams.
Yeah, and they are pretty tough. It's pretty tough to get in.
Oh, okay. So you're like a top ranker in these.
That
What was your rank?
I don't remember the exact one, but I did manage to clear that. I managed to clear a couple of other tests for other engineering universities that were pretty good as well. But I decided to go with IBM.
Okay. And you studied
Computer science.
computer science. Okay.
Why did you choose computer science? Like what?
I think it was more for calling.
Okay.
Ever since I was a kid, maybe in 8th or 9th standard, I just heard IT is the next big thing. Or it has a lot of scope. People who are going to go in IT today are going to make it big. I did not really know what IT was. I was in 7th, 8th grade, but one day on the newspaper, I see this IBFCS ad, and they were, telling what do we do, what do we teach, what are the prospects and everything. And I was like, I want to go here. And my elder brother was also studying in IBA, so I kind of knew what IBA was. And I was like, I want to go to IBA, but not what he's doing. I want to do this because I'm not interested in computers. And then my mom wanted me to be a doctor.
Of course.
But when the time came to really, right before O-levels, you have to sign up which subjects you're going to take. And my dad called me and he was like, ignore your mom for a second. What do you want to do? Mm-hmm. And I just instantly knew. I said computers. And it's like, okay, go for it. So I signed up for all the computers courses. My O-levels was in computers. My A-levels, I did not take computers because I knew I would be able to get into any computer science degree anyway. So I just did the basics, physics, chemistry, math. I got out. I knew I wanted to go to IDA. I applied for there. I applied for another NUST as well. I really wanted to be an architect as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so
okay.
I just loved designs in general. Designing houses, maybe interior as well. So I just wanted to do architect as well. There's also school IVS, if you know. I really wanted to go there, but I got to know that you really have to prepare for that. You need to have an amazing drawing, and none of that prep work.
You were like, what's the easiest way?
Yeah, and also the test was on the same day.
So IVS is also in Pakistan.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a kind of a creative institute. They would teach you architect, interior designing, any arts.
So okay.
So and then the entrance test exam for IVS and IB was on the same day, so I really had to choose, and it was the easier choice.
Good. I think one thing which I want to ask is like, we had one of our guests say it, and I asked him like, you want to go into graphic designing? How was your family support? And like you said, you know, your mom was like, get a doctor. And I was like, do your thing. Did you get that external pressure from different family members? Like, well, what are you doing, computer? Like, why aren't you going to like traditional engineering?
I think not so much because by the time I was coming to university, a lot of people had changed their mind. Like, it could be different from medical or good doctor or engineer. And computer science wasn't too creative a field either. It was still computers. Although that's interesting, that's a new thing. So I don't think I got any resistance from anyone. My mom was a bit disappointed, and she was like, don't worry, I'm going to ask your younger sister to be a doctor.
Right, and it's
Somewhere.
and it's like 4 years.
Yeah, it's the usual for you.
It's the uniform for
Yes.
Okay, and then you completed your computer science, and how did you come to Dubai?
I had the most simple, straightforward way. I married a guy who was little kid. I'll be honest.
Okay.
I was very scared though, because I was very scared of moving. Of course, I had a very nice job there. It was a really nice company. Paid me well. I had nice promotion prospects as well. And I was like, I'm just going to leave everything here, go there. When all of my friends are telling me, oh, the market is so tough, you need to have a source to make it anywhere.
So you found the source.
I did not.
Okay.
But that was kind of my idea, because I never got to be in Dubai or live here or Abu Dhabi, anywhere in the UAE. And that's what I heard from my friends and other people. You need to get a source, else you're not going to make it. And which I think right now is not so true. And that scared me a lot at that point in time. But once I was here, I had my current husband supporting me a lot, telling me all the different ways you could really get something. And it's just, I think, people's experiences, just because you cannot find a job without a source, doesn't mean it's the same for everyone.
Source as in master.
Yes, that's what they call it in
Okay.
Arabic.
Okay, got it. So you came to Dubai.
It's by source, a master, referral, anyone who's already working somewhere,
Yes.
and then refer you.
Yeah, but isn't it like that in Dubai anywhere?
It seems so. All the jobs I have had so far, it's all through like organic, through LinkedIn or Yeah.
Same here. Okay.
I think it's very true.
I think it depends. Like, there was a big chunk of that factor before.
Right.
I think that's still like dying out, because there's so many startups, especially with the digital world coming up
Right.
in every month. So you still have a chance to like get something by yourself. And plus, if you're on merit, sometimes it's yourself.
You just need to work hard on your CV, your profile. You just need to make sure you're in touch with the right people. Because even on LinkedIn, there are general recruiters, but there are also recruiters specific for each field. Yeah.
And every job that you've got right now is through LinkedIn.
Yeah. So far, I have 1, 2, 3, 4.
In Dubai?
Some of them were like short-term contracts, a month or two, but everything was through an online channel. I just didn't know anyone.
So you moved to Abu Dhabi first, right?
Yes, I did.
Well, you did your research in Italy.
On that.
You don't have to reveal that.
Yeah, no, it's fine. That's fine.
So like you said, never lived in this part of the world, completely different. How was it when you first stepped in? You're like, okay, where am I? Like, was it a cultural shock? Was it different? Was it easy to like adapt?
The cultural shock, not so much. It was very good. I don't think cultural shock was anything at that time. I was just very focused on, I need to find a job. Because it's so hard just staying if both on date.
Yeah.
It was so stressful. But But I think if you focus your efforts on the right thing, you get it. So I was able to get a job with it a month. It wasn't the amazing, job, but it was something that I could work, get a little bit money out of. But at least I was working. I had something on my CV. It was progress in some form. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to worry too much if it's my feet or not. So that was kind of what was a little bit of struggle there. My first job was a big sports event in Abu Dhabi, an international event there, and they were looking for a data operator something. Systems analyst, yeah. So I worked there for a month or two. It was just a very short-term contract, done and dusted, and I just knew while I was working there, I had to find where do I hop on to next because this is going to end. And before that ended, I was able to find another consultancy who worked in Abu Dhabi with a government department. So I got there, again through LinkedIn, just, organic. And then and that is where I got a job that was something really related to what I actually did and loved doing. It was a BI consultant. So I worked there for like 4 or 5 months. And then and then my husband was moving to Dubai. So I was like, okay, I don't have an amazing job here anyway. I like it here, but it's a bit boring. It doesn't pay me too well either. So I was like, okay, let's see what can I do in Dubai.
Yeah.
So I really started looking into Dubai as well. Then I joined another agency, a media affiliate marketing agency. I stayed there for not even a complete year. And then I moved to another conglomerate here in Dubai, and I was a consultant there for a while, BI still, and then I got promoted to a manager level. And I'm still there, pretty happy. Yeah, it's good. Working on everything, business intelligence, data analytics.
You joined as a consultant and now you're a manager. So, what's the major difference?
I think it was just terms that you would use.
Right.
Major difference, of course, it's kind of like a promotion as well. Right. A consultant will be like...
Of course, yeah. Not in terms of benefits. I'm talking about in terms of work.
In terms of work, it's more of, just doing your own thing. At first, the team that I joined was still very new. They still needed a lot of things to get done. So I built their BI systems from scratch. And their reporting systems from scratch.
Wow.
And then and that was the, initial phase where they would just need the reports out because you cannot start giving people numbers in Excel. Right. So I built that capability. And then when I moved to another level, it's now I oversee a team of data engineers, also some report developers. And also so this is the team that does this data engineering, BI, architecture work. I oversee them, but I also really work towards data science use cases sometimes. Also a bit on strategic use cases, like we want to launch this product. What do we do? How do we launch it for our customers? Okay. What do they prefer? Would they like a product like this, or do we need to tweak it? Or any other product then goes out with market. How is that performing? Good, why? Not good, why? So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now.
So you're saying all these words, and somewhat who's not from the data, right? And a lot of our audience might not be familiar. You say BI, because it's just okay. We know what it is, we know the name of it. What does it do? Then you think data scientist, then it's data analyst. What are these?
Yeah.
Okay, so BI is business intelligence. Okay, and the whole what do you call a loop or the whole architecture of business intelligence stack actually goes like you have this database layer.
And what's a stack?
Stack is the English stack.
Oh, okay. So okay.
So it goes like you have this core raw database wherever your company's putting the data to a system, right? You get into a database, as you all know what a database is, right? It's just raw data coming in. Then, in order for another person to look at the numbers, he goes like, I'll look at sales, members, blah, blah, blah. You have to transform that data into some form, right? So then the next step is kind of what we call a data engineering step. You have pipelines, but it's just generally taking this data, transforming it into a form that's easy for reporting, because the reporting structure would work on something that has to be fast enough to tell the people or the business users how many sales we've got. And this system, the database system, has to be fast enough to just input things. So those two are very different kind of systems. So now, in order to convert this system to this system or this framework or architectural structure, that is where your data engineering teams come in, and they help you transform all that data. So your reporting could be much faster, much more efficient. That doesn't mean you cannot report on this layer, the database layer. You can, but it's inefficient. It's not scalable. It's not
structured.
Yeah, it's just a messy way of doing things.
Yes.
So really,
Are you managing those teams, or are you doing that task itself?
So I've done those tasks at one point.
Like cleaning the data. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So not just cleaning, also building pipelines and get you to the data warehouse, which is a more structured form of your database, so that you can report on the KPIs that the business wants to see. Okay. And then you have a reporting layer where you would use Power BI or Tableau or other tools like that. So this is the whole stack. And then when I was in Pakistan, I used to be a data engineer. I came here, I was the BI analyst or BI consultant. I would usually work on more on the reporting side. And now I oversee the whole stack of things.
Wow. Okay. So can we have a general, like a difference between database and data warehouse as well?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. And I think that is a very important thing. Most of the people I interview, and that's one question I ask. Yeah. And what people don't really know.
Yes.
So I think the major difference would be databases are optimized for you to insert records or update or delete, because that is what your system has to do. For example, if you're inserting some kind of, sale, let's say, okay, you just need to insert the row, and it has to be fast enough. So insert, delete, update operations, this database system is going to be amazing at. But what it struggles with, because of the way you have to structure it to be able to achieve it, it struggles with linking data to other data points. It gets very messy if you want to report on this system. Like what kind of member shops for this item, for example, because the members thing is way somewhere there and items is way somewhere here. So you structure that, and then the data warehouse, you put in all the business logics, business rules there, because there's a certain way you would want to calculate sales or transactions. You would want to exclude some, etc. So you mask all your business logic in the data warehouse layer, and this layer is going to be so much better at reporting at faster speed. So it's going to be bad at inserting and updating and deleting records probably. That's going to be lightning fast in getting you the numbers very quickly.
And then at the end, like the last phase is using tools like Tableau or Power BI to basically visualize that data or analysis.
Yes.
Okay.
And I think last stage, it's never a last stage really. It's also a feedback loop. Because what you're doing is not just saying, okay, these are the numbers, these are the reports, here you go. It's also like you need to work very closely with the business. What are we trying to solve for? Like, does this help the business? Does this answer the questions that the business needs to continue or solve a problem? And it's also feedback loop as well. What the business users find useful and what they do not. Or sometimes businesses change, their strategies change, they want to look at things differently. So it's kind of, I think it's always a feedback loop. It's never like I built one report and then I've put it out and now the hot tackle it. It's usually an evolution of that same report.
Yeah, I would like to stress more on this topic because I really want to understand the whole process. So being a BI lets you visualize or helps you, being a BI, you would help the organization to visualize the data the way they want it to be visualized. But does it also, is it also that you help them understand, read between the numbers as well? Like, okay, because I'm from marketing. So let me put it this way, because we think that storytelling is the best way of communicating. Like if somebody wants to understand, like the way you tell, then storytelling is the best way, right? So is it also the BI also help in that process?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a huge part of the job.
Yeah.
BI is not just making a report. It's also what I said. We're going out with this strategy. Tell us what works. Or here's a problem that the business is facing. The sales are down. Tell us why. So you have to create, let's say, a story kind of, okay, what's the problem?
Right.
What are the things that could cause this problem?
Right.
What are the trends that we see in this thing? They're usually PowerPoint decks or in another more ad hoc form than usually not reports.
Okay.
But that's also a big part of BI. It's not just giving a visual, giving a trend line to everyone to look at. It's also solving the problems, giving them more power of understanding. So once you know why your sales are down, you know exactly what to do.
Right. And how much is storytelling important in your line of work?
No, I think, as you say, it's the best way to communicate your ideas.
Right.
And I think what's also important is the design of that story. A lot of the times I see dashboards that are so, I would say, so badly created from a UI or from a design perspective. And I think that helps a lot in terms of user experience as well. You have to lay out the elements in a way that the people can understand, especially people who are not numbers or who are not a numbers person, not very data savvy. So it just talks to them based on what they are looking for. And I think storytelling is a very important part. It's an art and a skill that you have to learn. And I think it's not a hard one, but it's something that you...
Because see, there are a lot of technical people as well, right? And some people, they might be good with numbers, they might be good in solving stuff, but then when it comes to communicating, they're not as open. What we call the introverts, right? They are more they would be really good with numbers and analysis and everything. But if you want to become a complete package, you need to have those technical skills as well, along with the communication skills.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So you mean storytelling as in communicating?
Communicating, okay, so with your, I will say, okay, so let's say tomorrow you have to report to all the directors and everything, right? Okay. And then you are building a report for them. Okay. Correct me if I'm wrong anyway, but you are helping them build a report for them, and you're showing them all the gaps and everything that report could communicate. But they're sitting at such high positions. They don't have the time to go through all the numbers and everything. So one part of the job is also to give them a short, I would say, a short brief on what is the conclusion of this story that you're trying to display, right? So you're good with numbers, you're good with structuring everything, you're good with visualizing everything. But then it also comes to giving them a short story, which can be read in 2 minutes. And
I think it's part of designing based on personas as well. Before designing anything, you need to know who your audience is. And then you'll cater to different audience. So if it's the CEO, just give them top-level numbers that they need. If it's a more operational team, you will give them a lot of details, maybe at a very small level, so that helps them get their work done. So it's a very important thing to take care of persona in terms of who's going to read your report or who's going to look at the deck you're presenting or the problem. I confused your question earlier with storytelling with data, because that's also a thing.
Yes.
Are you storytelling with data?
Yes. No, that's definitely why I said storytelling was because I think at every level the way you communicate has to be different, and that's part of storytelling.
One question that I want to ask is, in one of my previous companies I was working, data guy, something that really annoyed him was the requests he was getting about data is not right, this is wrong, this is your, you're showing the wrong thing. And then later we find out the data which is being fed to him by the team is wrong. Does that happen to you a lot? Does it bother you? What's
A lot, all the time, and that's very frustrating. And I think this problem never gets easier. You would think that big companies or big data structures have it sorted. I think even they don't to a level. But you get there. I think I've experienced that in most of the companies I've been. It's also the way all of your team collectively solves for that problem. So I think mindset is very important. One is, I'll just patch it so it works now. The other is, how do I make sure this doesn't happen again? How do I put safeguards around it? So now later you'll have enough safeguards that these kinds of issues will be less to deal with. They'll always be there. But I think that if you just think about long term, every time they come in, fix it, not for now, for later as well. Eventually you'll get to a point where this is less of an issue.
Have you ever been at a point where someone's blaming you, turned out they're wrong, and you're like, I told you?
A lot of times I think, but I don't think I've worked in a culture where it's more of like a playing game. It's more about, it's a problem, how do you solve it?
That's nice.
What's your general reaction when people come to you and they say that they want it by end of day? They want something to by end of day, and then
it depends who that person is. If that's the CEO of a big company, yeah, sure, sir.
Yeah, but generally there are some tasks that would take like weeks and everything.
Yeah, I think you have to manage expectations. If someone comes up to me, tells me, I need this, I really need this end of the day, can you please do it? I think my first one would be that layout. For example, if it's going to take me a week, it's going to take me a week. What I can do in a day is just, let's say, 10% of it. Would that be okay with you? And if it's not, then we can discuss how to get there, because I cannot commit to something that's impossible.
I think one question, which is whether you mentioned something about, the people not knowing the difference between database, data structure. Let's say when you're in an interview, what skills are you looking for? What do you see in that person? Be like, yeah, this person's good enough to be in my team, or like he or she could like reach that level to be a good data analyst. Or
I think usually I focus less on the tools. A lot of people think it's more about the tools. I know how to use this, which is always a very good thing to have. I think I focus more on how strong your foundations are, how good your concepts are, because if you have the concepts right, you can use any tool. Because to be honest, the tools that I use today, I was not taught that in my university. They were very old tools probably. But the fact now the right foundations have just know we can use any tool. If you know the right things.
If you don't mind, could you briefly elaborate on the foundations? Like, what are you? What do you think? Yeah.
And foundations, I was saying things like, what's a database, what's a data warehouse?
Right. Okay, like that.
If you're putting in to build a data warehouse and you don't know what's the difference, it's an issue, right? Also, what are the different kinds of data warehouses there are? It's not just one, there are many. When would you choose to have one over the other? Why exactly? And then even inside data warehousing, we have a lot of concepts there, like when to do this, when to do this. Most of the people would just do something without knowing why we're doing this. So I think the why question is very important, why we're doing it.
Because, even when I used to hire, I never, you're right, tools, any tools and concept they would learn, but I think foundations is something which is, I used to test people based on their mathematical skill. Because I'm like, okay, they can solve simple equations and simple problems. They can learn the tools and they can learn the concepts of digital marketing as well.
Okay.
Right.
you ever find someone who could do it?
Yes, so whoever I hired, I've given them
No names.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're the whole.
All right. So whoever I hired in my agencies and workplaces, in my previous workplaces, it was because of Max. I used to that first.
I would agree. Even sometimes I would give them a problem to solve, a very generic problem that is not related to the field.
Yes.
It just tells you the thought process, and I think that's what you need.
And you will be very surprised that no matter how good they would be with subject, but if you ask them to solve a simple percentage, they won't be able to. Yeah.
Good insights.
Yeah. So you have to know, like, because at the end of the day, on the sheet, it's all numbers. And they should be able to learn to how to calculate.
I think one thing I look at when I was doing career, it's not like, especially in the field of accounting and finance, a lot of people are good with numbers. It's also how you communicate. Because I remember I had an intern under me. Give him whatever you do, he's going to do it. But he couldn't analyze it. And he couldn't communicate, okay, no, I'm stuck here. Or I made a mistake. I didn't care whether once he had to make a payment of 10,000, he ended up paying 100,000 dirhams. And I'm like, oh my God, how do I fix this? And he didn't tell me. I just found out. And when I asked him, he's like, oh yeah, my bad. So I think it depends on different fields as well, like what are you looking at? Because sometimes if that person, it's not like, let's say the culture matters. If he's not able to, or she's not able to like talk to you or trust you, build that trust, like they're not going to be a good employee. I think that also the factor of how good of a manager you are also plays a big role in that.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope all your areas up to you.
Of course, yeah. Everyone has a different style of.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
And you want?
Yeah, I'm going to ask a very an important question which I've been thinking that you would ask, because it's generally you who ask this. What's the role of AI? What's the role of AI in business intelligence, and what do you think is the future?
I think it's a very powerful thing. You can't deny that. It's going to take you to places, especially with Microsoft launching Copilot, especially after that. But I think when companies say, oh, we're going to do AI, it's usually too high expectations or never an AI. Because to do AI, you need an amazing data quality. Most companies don't have it. So if you need to do good AI, you start from the data quality first. So I would trust AI in terms of where Microsoft is taking it. With Copilot, you could do great things with Microsoft Fabric. They've built an ecosystem to help you. That's going to be a real game changer. And then it's not going to be anymore about, oh, I know how to use Power BI, because, well, Copilot can do that.
Yeah.
So you really have to set yourself apart. And I think it's a good thing, because it's going to automate things or make things much faster that are just, very monotonous. So you are freed up to do the actual thinking work.
So Copilot is a part of Power BI.
So Microsoft is using OpenAI's GPTs to launch Copilot, which they say is going to be a support system and AI assistant across all your Microsoft projects.
So that's what they are using in Outlook, Teams.
Yeah, so Copilot will be integrated to your Teams, Outlook, Word, PPTs, Power BI, Fabric. Fabric is the new ecosystem of data, warehousing databases and everything. And so it's going to be everywhere, and you can ignore that.
Because I heard a recent news as well, like they have integrated something with Power BI related to their OpenAI project.
It's there.
It's in the same.
Yeah.
Right.
So you have to do some background work in order to be able to tell Copilot, this is how you calculate my sales, or this is my transactions. And then you say, oh, I want a report showing trends of sales and transactions, and Copilot would actually build it for you. And you just change some little things that you want to. I think it's never going to be perfect, but it's going to be a good start. Initially, you would start from scratch, then you start from something.
And is it helpful? It's helpful.
It's not out there. It's going to be 2024. Some companies are, I think, onboarded to preview something, but it's limited preview, so only a few people have access to it right now.
I mean, from our previous guests, we have guests from an engineering background, design, and marketing. And for them, when we ask them how it's the rise of AI, does it affect the job market, and especially this region? A lot of them have this general consensus, not yet, maybe not in the next 10 years. People will still be following the same traditional method. Do you agree with that? Do you think, okay, the field of BI, data scientists, will AI play a major role? Considering if someone's coming out of university, computer science, wants to go in that field, does it affect their chances?
I think it's just going to be a different job market. So now, of course, when you're building so many AI systems, you need someone to work on those AI systems. So that's a skill where the job market's going to shift
Yeah.
to getting more AI developers, let's say, people who could help building those systems. Also, I think jobs have evolved ever since as well. The example, when Excel came in, before that it was all paper-based. The jobs just evolved. There were never as finance people. I think it was just doing it faster.
Sure.
And it's still going to be the case. You need a human always who knows context, because I don't know AI knows context enough as it is right now. So you would always need a human to guide it. AIs are just going to make it efficient. They're just going to shift the job market a bit.
Yeah.
They're also going to push the bar up to get into the job market. Because imagine you have a very powerful system at your hands. How are you going to use it to, increase your productivity or efficiency or your quality of work?
Yeah. Okay. You have any more informative questions?
No.
Okay. It's a juicy side. What has been your worst experience so far?
In life or art? Oh, I cannot mention that. Right?
It's okay. Okay. Anything else? Like, nothing major, but like in a working environment, maybe you didn't get along with this person. Like,
And that happens all the time. You just have to be mature enough to handle that. Okay. And that happens a lot. It's very realistic that you're going to get along with everyone. You do not get along with certain people, and you just deal with it with maturity.
okay. Yeah, good diplomatic answer. Any decision so far you regret? You get like, maybe I did this or studied this or this university, or maybe in terms of masters or even job choices at this company, which you say like, I wish I did something else back then, or you say like, you know what, I would have like that.
I think I don't have a lot of regrets. Maybe at the time I was doing things, maybe a couple of months later I would think, oh, I wish I did not do that.
Yeah.
But all those choices made me land where I am today. I really appreciate that. So if I had to go back and change anything, I don't think I would change a lot. And literally every bad experience, things that I would say were the worst days or the worst part that happened in my life, always, directed me to something, or that was the reason why I got here, or why I got something much more amazing.
Right.
So I think it's just a way of looking at things, just perspective. I think I don't believe in regret.
It's good. Do you believe in regret?
Me?
Sure.
No, I don't. And this too.
If you can change it.
Yeah, because I think a lot, and I think I miss my energy in thinking a lot. Same here. I do Pisces, right? So.
No.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So I think a lot, and whenever I do any mistake, like even now, by the way, when I'm talking to you, I'm thinking a lot, like, oh, did I ask this right? Did I ask this wrong? But I think it's that's my general, I would say, personality. Mm-hmm. But then I also think that, I think with age, I'm getting matured enough to not focus so much on things that have happened in the past and just move on. And like nowadays, like when people ask me, when people talk anything about negative, I just say like, you're the water in the river, and just flow with the river. Wherever the river takes you, just
you're water in the river, which is a form of water.
So you're not the river. You're part of the river.
Why can't you be a fish?
You can't be a fish as. You can be a fish as.
That's his analogy.
Yes.
Fair. You're asking something.
Was I? No, I wasn't. But okay, so what is the best advice that you would give to someone who is shifting to Dubai? That's my first question. And second, I also wanted to ask you, was that you first worked in Abu Dhabi and then you moved to Dubai. How was that shift? And for somebody who wants to move to UAE, what would you advise them? Like, when if they want to have a job, or if they want to, like, even come to study here to their masters.
Okay, so I think studying here is very expensive. I don't know if people will come to the UAE if they had that much money. And that might be controversial. No, I mean, if you're already born and brought up in UAE, it's fair game. If you're coming from outside, especially from the Asian region, I think if you have that much money, you'd rather go to the US or UK to get a better standard of education, to be fair. So, but in terms of moving from Abu Dhabi to Dubai, I don't think there's a lot of issue. I've worked in Dubai while living in Abu Dhabi. I would just drive every day there.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's not a big issue. You get used to it. It's not too far off either. 1 hour drive only, which a lot of people living in probably the marina areas would do anyway because the exit is so jam-packed all the time. It's not too bad. Dubai, even when living in Abu Dhabi, I would get a lot of offers from Dubai. It was never a problem. Oh, you live there. No, it's just I drive there.
Yeah, and since you have got sort of experience now, you're one. I would just like to ask that, computer science. Let's take computer science, and you did your computer science in Pakistan, right? So, does it really matter where you have studied from? Which country you have studied from? When it comes to now.
To recruiters into job.
Yes, and even now at this stage, like you would say that people right now, they want to go to US and study. They want to pursue their masters and everything. They would want to even in India. It's like the craze for US is very high. But does it really matter where you're pursuing your masters from?
I think it might matter when you just want to get into the market, your first CV or the first job. It might. A lot of companies don't look at it. They would rather look at who are you as a person, what's your personality, what's your skill set, are you good enough, do you know what you say, a lot of companies will do that, but some companies might just go for bigger names. Depends. Also, if you have studied from an amazing university, Yale it's always going to matter. Because they're always going to brag about it. But if you haven't, at some point in time, it's more about what you bring to the table, how much capable you are, what is your skill set, your degrees and your university still that seat. A lot of people don't even write it in their CVs now. If they're experienced enough, they'll just skip that section where I studied from.
Oh, okay. And what's your definition of work-life balance?
Oh, balance. No, I think it's never a 50-50. It's always waves, highs and lows.
Yes.
Sometimes you'll have to give an 18 to the work, and sometimes you have a breather, which is fine. I think as long as you don't have to do an 80% at work every single day, you do get breathers in between, I think it's a good balance, no?
So one thing I want to ask you is obviously you graduated 10 years back, 15 years back? 7, okay. So
in 2020,
you started university
2017 and had to...
Okay, you started 10 years back and then you studied, got a job. Looking at the new generation, there's a lot of people, what I've seen, they'll be got 6 out, it's not my life. Work is not my life. And when, especially coming from a Daisy culture where we'll see, especially our parents will be working till 10 p.m., 11 p.m. That is my life. Do you see that cultural shift over here, the work culture shift? And do you think that's going to the good side? Does it affect people? And as a manager, would you be I don't want this person on my team? What are your thoughts on that?
I think same thing. If I know that person is going to work, it's really needed, because sometimes you really have to work. It's extra pressure from everyone above you. And sometimes it's low tide. You don't really have to spend any extra hours. I was just saying, go home. Sometimes even early. And what my manager used to we used to say to me was, it's not the amount of hours you put in, it's the quality of your work you deliver. It's the consistency of the quality, and it's the quantity of the quality you deliver. So I think you just have to think from a perspective of, if this person is taking an early off, it's fine, because some days they would do a lot more hours when you really need them. So I just, I think having that trust is just...
So sometimes it might take 8 hours to complete something. Sometimes even just take 2 hours to complete something. And that's what I meant by flow.
Okay. But I wish I had managers like that. So let's say like in your university life, in IBA in Karachi, you're studying computer science. Did you ever think this would be your life at that moment? Or you're like, that's going with the flow?
No, you never think, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember actually what I used to think when I think it, but I'm glad it is what it is right now.
That's good. And do you miss Karachi, like as a living there and that university life and growing up?
I'm missing university.
Yeah.
You had all your friends there. You had not the slightest worry about any work pressure, anything. The student pressure was a lot, which you were like, oh my God, my life is so tough.
Yeah.
But you get into the job market, life is tougher than that. So I really enjoyed my university years. I really had a very good set of friends. So I missed that part for sure, yes.
Yeah, I think everyone misses their...
It depends. I think how good of an experience you had in your university. Some people just don't want to go back to those friends.
Emirates?
And I couldn't hear. Maybe that's there.
And you know, right? You're getting recorded and everything, and most of your friends still stay here.
I'm an honest person, they know that.
No, but definitely one part of university life is friends. Like, you would guess, like, looking at me, that I never could have attended any class in university. Yeah, and I survived university because of my friends. Yeah.
So and also you changed your field afterwards. So.
Yeah, I did change my field. Yeah, I was a civil engineer.
Oh,
Yeah.
you don't look like one.
That's what I knew. I knew that I would never
It would be hard to pull off.
I would never make a good civil engineer, so I knew that. So I just shifted my field. But has Dubai had an impact
On?
on you, on your personality,
Yes.
in your life? Yeah.
Also on my mindset. I think when you work with people from all the different cultures, you just become more tolerant. You're more acceptable. That everyone's that have their own opinion, their own perspective, and that's fine. They're born and brought up in a very different part of the world than you have. And I think what I really like about Dubai is that everyone is very acceptable of everyone else. So it's not a problem if you're from another region of the world. We can still be friends. So yeah, I think.
One special question from our producer, which was, a lot of people.
Who's the producer? Oh yeah.
A lot of people have a quote from a book or a movie or something they heard, which really drives them to keep going. Do you have something like that?
I think a lot. I have a lot of Insta posts saved. I would just open that sometimes to get inspiration. But I think one that I can remember from the top of my mind, I don't remember who said it, but it was something like that. Never take criticism from someone you wouldn't take advice from. But I think that was very powerful.
I said that last week.
You said that?
Yeah.
Right.
That's his original.
Oh yeah, sure, Pradeep, you did.
What's your favorite app? Yes.
So
Day-to-day use, general.
what's that?
WhatsApp is your favorite app?
Yeah.
Okay, except WhatsApp, because yes, you do use it for messaging and stuff. Yeah. But anything like Instagram or maybe,
I try not to use
or maybe Carrefour or like.
no grocery shopping. I try to limit my app usage. Yeah, maybe.
Share.
Share 90 app, yeah. Share forts.
You know what? I'll just. Okay. Oh, that way. Okay.
Kind of marketing guy. How are you doing on Karak Chat?
No.
In terms of my favorite app, I think I want to distance myself on social media apps because I think they waste a lot of time. In my mobile, I've tried to set timers on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, everywhere, 20 or 30 minutes in LA, and then my mobile would shut them off. So I try not to use them. If something that I would just rather like to pull up would be, I think, Instagram.
Okay. Because Yeah, it is. I mean,
Reddit. I think that's,
Reddit?
yeah,
Okay.
it's better. Yeah, Reddit.
So sorry if I'm judging. Like, is it like
You
all? No, because what I'm going to say next, he might have to delete it. So, no, but having everything in the conversation is good. Maybe he won't. So, I don't know. So, is it like all like people who are into data and techies like Reddit?
Reddit is very random about anything. Very random things. Yeah, you just remember the flow.
I have never used friend.
Then you should start using it.
Why you're judging me?
Yeah, like. Anyway, let's go back to. Do you have anything else before we wrap it up?
No, nothing. I'll put less burden on. Yeah.
One last question, which we normally ask everyone, is what is your definition of success, and do you think you've achieved it or you're close to it?
Okay, what I'm gonna say might not be very original, but it's something that someone said. I don't remember who, but it was very nice. And that's how probably
Might be everything here.
It said success is not a destination, it's a journey. And because that goalpost keeps changing, when you get there, you want the next big thing. So I think it's just being content with yourself that, yeah, I'm in a good place. And just not always, because I think human nature is we want to get to one place, and when we are there, we feel it for a while, it dies down, we want to get to the next thing because that's what's the ultimate goal and that's going to make us so happy. And then we're not going to ask for anything else. But yes, by the time you get there, it repeats. So I think it's a journey. Just be happy where you are and make sure you're making enough progress to get to where you want to be.
Actually, now you said that. It's from Telugu movie.
Oh, please.
I was going to say, like, so the whole for this success is not a destination, it's a journey. There are no full stops, there are only commas.
They probably copied it from somewhere.
No, they're not.
I'm sure. I'll find it out. I'll say the other
I
thing.
remember Kobe Bryant saying it.
You guys are jealous of Telugu.
Yeah.
You guys are jealous of the Telugu movie industry.
Do you want to ask a biryani question?
What do you have biryani?
You like?
Do you like biryani?
I love biryani.
You love biryani. Which biryani is the best biryani?
Chicken tikka biryani.
No. That's all right. Love biryani.
So that's a great answer. You make Karachi biryani.
Which country/state has the best biryani?
City, I would say. Karachi.
Thank you.
What?
Because even in Pakistan, you have a Lahori biryani, which is very different to Karachi biryani. Yeah. It's no biryani.
Have you ever had a biryani which name starts with H?
It's Hyderabadi.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pakistanis make biryani in a slightly different way. They would still do a Hyderabadi version, but it would be slightly different, which is what you should try, and you'll change your mind.
You should try.
No. Royal Hyderabadi biryani. No.
On that note, thank you, Zainab, for coming. It was a really good experience. Would you like to say any final words?
No, thank you for coming. Thank you for accepting the invite. It was really great talking to you. Had experience as with you.
And we all see you next week or a week after that.